we are talking about the holiday fever, the festive season, the last stretch before Christmas Day, and how can we budget? What do we do? Like, where is our bonus? What do we do with our bonus once it is paid into the bank account? Do we just spend it, or do we budget? Very important question. Do we actually budget before? Like, of course, Mr. Daniel Steinman, that this year my budget or my bonus will be this amount. At least you do know, you have a plus minus figure what it will be, besides the overtime and the what. So you have that figure in your mind. Do people actually budget?
I wanted to ask that question to you. Do you know anybody that budgets for the holiday
Not during
season?
the festive season.
Do you know anybody that is not in trouble in January?
No.
Also not? You see, this is the whole advocacy point I'm making. And it is basic fundamental economics. The thing is, it's a human perspective.
Yeah.
So I am telling our listeners, I don't want you to become a computer. You're still a man or a woman.
Yes.
You're a person. I want you to enjoy life. I want you to enjoy your friends. I want you to enjoy your family, being with them.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, with a little bit of discipline, you can get so much further with the money that is available to you in December than just blowing it all.
Oh, of course.
And I mean, if you think, this has got a lot to do with the phase of your life where you are. If you
Also,
are in your 20s, your regard for budgeting and for turning over your coins and for showing a little bit of discipline, it's very little. Why? Because you can always run to Papa and Mommy, or you can go to Oma and Opa. They're sort of like a backstop. But now you get into your 30s and you marry, you have children, you get your own family. Now that backstop becomes difficult to, because it's not only you, it's you and your sister and your brother, and each one of you has 2 or 3 children. So it becomes more complicated and the demands increase.
Yes.
The point is, when you are in your 30s, you also have a job, you have an income, you probably educated, you're going somewhere. And then you find yourself every year in the same trap. And you ask yourself, why? And the reason is because you did not think this out a little bit in advance. And you hear what I'm saying. I'm approaching this from a human point of view, in the sense that you have to live. You're not an automaton.
Yes.
You otherwise, what's the sense of life? Huh? And even in economics, if you really screw it up every year and you don't learn from it, you're going to continue doing it until you're 50.
Yeah.
And eventually you're 60 and you get to retirement age, and then, like you and I now ask, where's my budget? You're going to ask, where's my pension? So do you see this? I'm focusing on, how do you handle your finances during December?
Yeah.
And how do you make provision, and how do you apply just that little bit of discipline? But I'm extrapolating that to a bigger circle, and that circle, we call it life. And it's your life.
Yes.
And if you don't learn somewhere in your 30s, if you don't acquire that basic discipline to prioritize, to make provision, to budget, doesn't need to be detailed, broad general budget. If you don't do that, you never learn it.
Of course.
And you get to the retirement one day, and what happens?
Just blow it.
You sit there and you realize, I have not made provision. So what I'm talking about, what I want the listeners to internalize, to make part of their own psychology, is that in your 30s, you have to start acquiring the habit of not just blowing all your money, of saving, of making provision for expenses that unforeseen,
Yeah.
of making provision for stuff that comes later. You know, and you hear the way that I'm putting it.
Yeah.
Go and have a nice party. You know, don't
fine.
don't put the brakes on the party. Have a fabulous time with the family, but make sure that there is a budget. You know, that there is discipline. That you've made provision for what you need to do after the festivities, when because all the holidays come to an end.
Yeah, they do.
And so that you also, for you as a person in yourself, that you, as you mature, that you can realize every year there's a slight difference in my approach to my own finances, you know. And I'm not going deeper and deeper into the mud. I'm actually starting to acquire and apply the principles of stretching the purse, leaving a little
That's
bit
a nice one.
over
Stretching
for
the purse.
later, for other stuff that must be paid for responsibilities,
Yeah.
and very important, for people that are dependent on you.
That's another one that I wanted to touch on, Mr. Daniel Stammer, but because of time, we will not be able to do that. Because there is this thing, like, I don't want to make this a race thing right now, but I'm speaking from my experience, and I'm speaking as a black woman, that it is sometimes difficult to budget this time of the year because there's so many people that are dependent on you.
Very true.
You know, you have your cousins that you know that next year you also have to give a bit of money for their school or for their school uniform or something. And also during that festivity that you actually have to spend more than you budgeted for, because aunts and uncles would send their kids to the farm, and then you have to spend money buying that food, and then also gifts, and then probably also buy them a few, like a t-shirt or a top or something.
And they know you've got a little bit of money in your pocket, you know.
But well, this is a talk for another day, Mr. Daniel Stammer. Thank you so much for coming through, and of course teaching us about budgeting. This is not something that we actually need to go study for. Budgeting is just expenses. Know what your expenses are, and also know that this you need to put away for 2024.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, on that note, thank you once again, and also thank you to the listeners out there. We will be back next week having a very interesting topic once again. From me, Elsa Bitubinyani. Goodbye.